Hi everyone, welcome to English Today Journal. And hey, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy learning English in a simple and practical way.
Anger and express it in constructive ways. It can be very helpful. The real problem is not the anger itself, but how we deal with it. What does healthy anger look like? Healthy anger means you feel the emotion, but you choose how to respond rather than letting the emotion control you. It allows you to stand up for yourself, set boundaries, or correct a wrong without harming others or yourself. Unhealthy anger, on the other hand, happens when anger is expressed in ways that are destructive. It may lead to yelling, blaming, criticizing, or acting impulsively. This type of anger can damage relationships, cause regret, and increase stress or guilt. Often, unhealthy anger occurs when triggers are ignored, buried, or misunderstood. Over time, this can turn into resentment, constant frustration, or even emotional withdrawal. Healthy anger is about balance and awareness. It involves noticing your feelings, understanding why you are angry, and then deciding the best way to express it. It can motivate positive change, help you communicate clearly, and protect your emotional well-being. The key is choice. Anger itself is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. What matters is how you handle it. By learning to recognize your triggers and distinguish healthy anger from unhealthy anger, you begin to use your emotions wisely instead of being controlled by them. Understanding anger is a journey. Every emotion has a story, and your anger always has a reason behind it. When you approach it with curiosity, patience, and self-compassion, you build emotional strength and deeper awareness. Healthy anger is not suppression or explosion. It is recognition, reflection, and conscious action. Healthy anger is about control and communication. When we feel angry, we notice it and pause before reacting. We don't explode, attack, or hurt others. Instead, we express our feelings clearly and respectfully. For example, we might say, "I feel upset when I'm interrupted. I need a short break right now because I'm getting frustrated." When we respond like this, something powerful happens. Other people understand our boundaries, and the situation doesn't turn into a big fight. Healthy anger shows respect both for ourselves and for others. It allows us to protect our emotions without causing harm. Unhealthy anger, on the other hand, happens when the emotion controls us instead of us controlling it. It usually appears in two main forms. The first is exploding outward. This can include yelling, saying hurtful words, slamming doors, or even acting aggressively. The second is holding anger inside. This happens when we pretend we are fine but secretly feel bitter, upset, or resentful for hours, days, or even longer. In both cases, anger is not being managed properly. In the first, it comes out in harmful ways. In the second, it builds silently and grows into resentment. Both can damage relationships, peace of mind, and even health over time. Why does unhealthy anger happen? Often, it is connected to deeper issues, such as perfectionism or the need for control. Maybe things didn't go the way we planned, which makes us feel like we failed. Maybe someone didn't behave as we expected, which feels disrespectful. When we expect everything to be perfect or want to control every detail, even small things can trigger anger. Think about times when you lost your cool over something minor, only to realize later that the real cause was stress or pressure that had been building for a while. This is very common. Another reason unhealthy anger happens is impulsive reactions. Some people react too quickly, without stopping to think. One sharp word, one angry text, or one sudden outburst can hurt a friendship, damage a relationship, or create long-lasting conflict. These quick reactions are dangerous because they often lead to regret and misunderstandings. The good news is that we can learn to slow down. The first step is noticing the signs of anger in your body. Your heart might beat faster, your muscles tighten, your breathing changes, or your hands shake. Recognizing these signals gives you a chance to pause before reacting. You can take a deep breath, step away for a moment, or choose words carefully. This pause is powerful. It gives you control over your actions instead of letting anger control you. Another key step is learning to express yourself through assertive communication. Assertive communication is clear, respectful, and honest. It is not passive. You are not ignoring your feelings. And it is not aggressive. You are not attacking others. Instead, you calmly explain what you feel and what you need. For example, instead of saying, "You always interrupt me," which sounds like an attack, you can say, "I feel frustrated when I can't finish speaking. I need a moment to explain my thoughts." This approach helps others understand your feelings without creating conflict. Unhealthy anger is common, but it is also manageable. By understanding your triggers, recognizing your body's signs, slowing down, and using assertive communication, you can transform anger from something harmful into a useful guide. Anger then becomes a tool to protect yourself, stand up for what is right, and communicate clearly. It is no longer something that controls you. It becomes something you can control. Learning to slow down, notice the signs of anger, and respond thoughtfully is a key part of emotional growth. Many common sayings carry this wisdom. For example, "Bite your tongue" means stop yourself before saying something you might regret. "Take a step back" means give yourself space before responding. "Cool off" means calm down before you act or speak. These small phrases are simple, but they hold important lessons about controlling anger and making thoughtful choices. So, how can we actually keep anger healthy? It all comes down to awareness and a few practical strategies. The first step is to pause. The moment you feel your emotions rising, stop. Don't react immediately. Take a few slow, deep breaths. This brief pause helps calm your body, which might be reacting with a faster heartbeat, tense muscles, or shallow breathing. It also gives your brain a chance to think clearly before you act or speak. The second step is to name the emotion. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Is this frustration, fear, embarrassment, or something else? Often, just identifying the feeling can reduce its intensity. Naming it takes away some of its power and gives you space to respond wisely rather than impulsively. Another useful strategy is to see yourself from the outside. Imagine a close friend was in the same situation. What advice would you give them? Would you tell them to yell, slam doors, or say hurtful words? Probably not. You would likely suggest that they step away, calm down, and talk later. The truth is, we often know how to guide others better than we guide ourselves. But if we take the same advice for ourselves, we can manage anger in healthier ways. Healthy anger is not about staying silent or pretending everything is okay. It is about being honest, aware, and respectful. You can feel angry and still act kindly. You can experience strong emotions and still make thoughtful choices that do not hurt yourself or others. The steps are simple but powerful. Pause, breathe, name the emotion, and choose your response. These steps give you control over your actions instead of letting your anger control you. Managing anger does not mean being perfect. You will still feel frustration, and sometimes you may slip and react in ways you regret. That is normal. The goal is progress, not perfection. Each time you pause and respond thoughtfully, you strengthen your emotional self-control and build better relationships. Over time, these small steps become habits, and handling anger becomes easier and more natural. Now, it is also important to understand the cost of uncontrolled anger. When anger is left unmanaged, it can create real problems. Quick reactions, harsh words, and outbursts can hurt relationships, friendships, and even your reputation. Holding anger inside without expressing it can lead to stress, sadness, or resentment that grows silently. Over time, this can affect your mental and physical health. Uncontrolled anger can cause tension in the body, headaches, trouble sleeping, and even long-term issues like high blood pressure. Beyond the body, it can damage trust and connection with the people you care about most. The good news is that anger is manageable. By pausing, noticing your feelings, naming the emotion, and choosing a calm response, you can avoid these costs. Healthy anger protects you, communicates your needs, and allows you to act in ways that respect both yourself and others. It transforms anger from a dangerous force into a guiding signal, showing you when something needs attention, care, or change. Now, let's look at what happens when we don't manage our anger. We've all been there at some point. Maybe it happened during an argument, in a meeting at work, or with someone we care about deeply. In those moments, it often feels like anger is in control, not us. And when anger takes over, it usually leaves behind some kind of damage. Sometimes we can fix it, but sometimes the effects are long-lasting. The first area affected is relationships. When anger goes unchecked, it creates distance between people. Imagine yelling at someone you love. The words fly out fast, maybe harsh and sharp. You might say things you don't really mean just because you were upset in that moment. Afterward comes the silence, that heavy feeling of guilt or tension. Maybe the other person walks away, or maybe you do. Even if you apologize later, something changes. Trust is affected. Trust is like a sheet of paper. Once it is crumpled, you can try to smooth it out, but it will never be exactly the same again. Think about this. Have you ever said something in anger that you immediately wished you could take back? Most of us have, and it's part of being human. But when uncontrolled anger happens often, it has bigger consequences. People around you may start to feel unsafe. They might avoid talking to you, stop sharing their feelings, or tiptoe around you, always trying not to trigger your temper. Over time, uncontrolled anger doesn't just release energy, it builds walls between you and the people who matter most. Often, all you really wanted was to feel heard or understood, but anger can get in the way of that. Anger doesn't only affect personal relationships. It can also damage your career and professional life. Imagine being in a job interview or a team meeting. If you can't handle criticism or pressure without snapping, people notice. It creates a negative impression. You might be very skilled, smart, or talented, but if you react angrily, it can overshadow your abilities. Colleagues might hesitate to work with you. Supervisors may view you as difficult. Over time, uncontrolled anger can limit your opportunities, block promotions, and make teamwork stressful. There is also a cost to your own well-being. Constant anger, whether expressed outwardly or bottled up inside, creates stress in the body and mind. Your heart rate rises, muscles tighten, and your body produces stress hormones that can affect your health. Over time, this can lead to headaches, trouble sleeping, high blood pressure, and other health problems. Beyond physical effects, it can harm your emotional health too. Uncontrolled anger can make you feel guilty, frustrated, lonely, or misunderstood. It can make you feel stuck in a cycle where anger keeps growing instead of resolving. The good news is that this is not permanent. Learning to manage anger changes everything. By pausing, recognizing your triggers, breathing, naming your emotions, and choosing thoughtful responses, you prevent anger from taking control. You protect your relationships, your career, and your own health. Healthy anger allows you to speak up, express your feelings, and solve problems without causing harm. Uncontrolled anger, on the other hand, isolates you, damages trust, and can make life more stressful than it needs to be. Remember, anger itself is not the enemy. The real danger is when we don't understand it and don't manage it. With awareness and practice, anger becomes a signal, guiding you to take action, set boundaries, or solve problems in ways that respect both yourself and others. When people know you as someone who loses your temper easily, slams doors, raises your voice, or sends angry messages, it can overshadow everything else about you. People often remember how you made them feel, not just the words you said. In today's world, emotional intelligence, your ability to manage feelings and handle relationships, is just as important as technical skills. If coworkers see you as unpredictable or